It's time to get unmasked. Please welcome your host, Pamela Elaine Nichols and Cheryl A.S. Haley.
Welcome everyone to Unmasked Real Talk Live. This is the place where we get real about topics not often discussed openly. The names of those who participate in the weekly challenge go into our raffle spin. And if you won a raffle prize in the past and you haven't yet received it, please forgive us, first of all, and then send us a Facebook message in our 3 Times Better group and let us know I ain't got my prize, and we will send it out to you. We'll send it out to you. Today's raffle prize is a tiny but powerful book called If You Know What You Want, You Can Have It. It works. The famous little red book that makes your dream come true. I'm telling you, I read this book a few times. It's a great one. It's a must read so that you can get what you want if you haven't gotten what you wanted. Okay, you and God can partner together in getting you what you want. All right, so thank you to all those who participated in our Take Time for You challenge that we did. We were so moved by your transparency, and this week's challenge will be dropped in our private Facebook group. Be sure to post your comments to the challenge by Monday, December 19th, which is the day before we go live on the show. Now, today's show is called Touch a Heart Tuesday. Today's show is dedicated to the fond memories of a beloved friend who was a member of our private Facebook group, Jane Victoria Hopkins. Jane passed away on Sunday. We invited some of her friends to join us today live to share in her memory. Now, as the friends come on, just before we move on, we want to do something special for my co-host and friend, my lover of my soul, Cheryl Hurley. We're going to sing happy birthday right now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cheryl, and anniversary, but that's not important. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Oh. All right. All right, Kayla did something special then. No, seriously, we really are happy that it's your anniversary too. Oh, we really want to thank, Reg is my boy, so we just want to make sure Reg is okay. But we just wanted to say happy birthday to you, Cheryl. We love you. It's great to work with you. You're a wonderful friend. You're a wonderful business partner. You're a great soul. So take today and make it all that you desire it to be.
Oh, wow. I am touched. You surprised. You stuck that one in on me. You snuck it in. I saw the image, but I didn't pay it any attention. But thank you all for celebrating. And thank you, Pam. You know I love you to life. Thank you so much. This is a special day. Every day is special, but this day is real special for me because it's just so many emotions that I'm feeling right now. And I feel like I'm grown enough to feel what I'm feeling and own it. So this is our place where we unmask and we get real in here so that we can be real out there. I am elated. I'm celebrating my birthday, but I'm also celebrating the life of a dear sister of ours. And I'm also celebrating my wedding anniversary, 42 years. That right there.
Wait, to the same man?
The same man, 42 years. Tell me there's not a God. There is not a God. Okay. But I'm praising God for that. But as Pam shared, this is our Touch Your Heart Tuesday, and we just really wanted to do something special. We will first want to take a moment to extend heartfelt condolences to the family and the so many friends of our dear Jane Victoria Hopkins. As one who could be loquacious at times, and I love to talk as a counselor, as a coach, as a preacher, I love to talk. Right now, my heart is so full to be very transparent. And there's so many things that I could say, but words are few at the moment. Yeah. But I am grateful to God that He allowed myself and so many others to not see Jane from a place of inability, and I say that with intentionality, but to see her as a woman of faithful tenacity. As I looked on her Facebook page the other day for an image, I ran across something that I thought so appropriate to share when I think about Jane. Jane has touched so many of us in so many ways. That's why we thought it not robbery to have a few. And when I say this is just a few of so many, just to come and share reflections. But I wanted to share this post that she had put on her Facebook page. And it says, what I came to realize in 2022 was this. I realized that I don't have to doubt how far I can go. I can just remember how far I have come, everything I faced, and all the battles I've won, and all the fears I've overcome. That, our friends, our sisters, and any brothers that might be watching, is a true essence of a rainbow that we will always remember. And that rainbow is none other than Queen Jane Victoria Hopkins. Now, we have a video clip that we're going to share at this time. And afterwards, several amazing women who have joined us in the studio on today, they're going to share reflections on our Touch Your Heart Tuesday. And while this is a moment that we're mourning her loss and we're feeling all kinds of emotions, we want you to be encouraged. We want you to be inspired by what it is that they have to share. And as they share, think about Jane and remember the one thing that we can all say: she was a woman of determination, she was a woman of perseverance, and she was a woman who did everything that she desired to do in life. So now our producers,
just before we go to the video clip, just to set it up for a second for those who don't know, Jane joined Cheryl and me for a 30-day coaching session of a group coaching program that Cheryl and I created. Think You Don't Matter, Think You Aren't Enough, Think Again is the name of the coaching program that Cheryl and I created. So Jane joined us for 30 days for complimentary coaching with a few other women. And that was my first time to get to know her. So I chose this clip because I think it's so indicative and representative of her spirit, even though I didn't know her at all until she showed up. And I think I know her much better just from that short 30 days with her, 4 weeks with her. So I'll turn it over to the producer now.
And I already did the assignment, so it's like,
yeah.
Cheryl, I did the assignment all.
I know you did. I know you did.
A week ago I did it, so it's like, okay. Where are we at now, and what do you want me to do or say? And please don't put me on widescreen because, like I said, I completely forgot about it. So I am not dressed in street clothes.
You're okay.
I'm in my nightgown. So these are all women here now, so let me be real. I'm in my nightgown.
That's all right. Oh, that was our Jane. That was our Jane, and it put a smile on my face because that's who she was. She was authentic and she kept it real. There was no pretense about her. Who you saw was who she was. So at this time, we have Lisa West, longtime ministry friend of Jane. They have history together. And we have our dear sister, Pamela Hurt, with us in the studio. So we just want them to kind of share, and we're just going to have some conversation, but share as you feel led, whatever fond memories, warm reflections you want to share at this time about our sister Jane.
I said one thing that I definitely want to just kind of reflect on a little bit before I just kind of talk about my feelings and emotions in relationship with Jane is just your reflection that you posted in the WOW conference about Jane being a rainbow. Yes. And so as we reflect on the colors, the meaning of the colors of the rainbow, the red was for passion and vitality and energy. And we saw that so consistently in Jane. The orange was for creativity, playfulness, and enthusiasm. No matter where she was when she entered in a room, you saw all of her enthusiasm. She was always grateful to be, no matter the circumstances, she was always grateful to be around others. The yellow is optimism and happiness and intellect. We see that in Jane. We saw that in Jane. The green was balance, growth, and abundance. And I think that green to me also represents life. And so Jane was so full of life. And so even as she remained balanced, she was still determined to grow and to grow in God's word, all right, in her relationship with him. The blue was for trust and responsibility and loyalty. And I think that was one of the things that too resonated because as I reflect on Jane, our relationship began at Christian Hope Baptist Church. And so even after I had been going from that location, that worship house, it's been 10 years. And Jane and I still remained, in contact and in relationship. The Indigo is for intuition, integrity, and knowledgeable. And we definitely know that Jane was one who was a student of life, not just of God's word, but she took it seriously as well. And then the violet is for wisdom and imagination and mystery. And so we can see that too, in the life of Jane. It was, as I reflect on, our relationship, Jane was one, if she had a question, if she had a concern, if she felt as though that you could give her some insight, some wisdom, she was reaching out to you. She did not care in a sense that how it impacted you, because it was that I need this information for life, and so whatever it was that she definitely needed from you, she sought you out for it. And even as she would notice my Facebook posts, I had began my studies at Lancaster Bible College. And Jane called me one day because I guess she saw something in, what I was doing, that it in the same sense that, hey, that's where I want to be, or that's what I'm trying to do. And so she inquired about Lancaster Bible College. And I said, Jane, I think this would be a great fit for you. Next thing I know, here comes Jane coming down the hallway, and that's just how she was. And even when we both graduated at the same time, actually, she graduated a year after me, but because of the pandemic, our graduations were held together. And so let me say this to you. When I say that Jane was definitely serious about her study of the word, Jane graduated valedictorian.
She did.
All right. And so we were so overwhelmed and so happy for her, just for her to really, experience that and to share that, with her family and her friends. And then she saw that I was at ULS and she said, well, wait a minute, where are you at? What are you doing? And how did you get there? And I said, Jane, listen, this is what you need to do. I think this would be a great fit for you. I said, don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. The next thing I know, Jane was putting up a post. Hey, I am in. I've been accepted into seminary, and so that was just her passion for life, was to continue to strengthen her relationship with God and her understanding of his word, and to be his servant. So at Christian Hope, she served as deaconess, and Jane was excited about that service to the Lord. And I think in my post I put on graduation day for Lancaster Bible College, you receive a towel representing your service to the Lord. And Jane was so excited about receiving that towel, which meant that she could continue, not start, because she had already been doing the work, but she could continue with more knowledge, to serve God's people, and I think that's just the things that I can think of, as Jane, we laughed. If something troubled her, whatever, she would call and we would laugh and we would pray. I remember one Sunday, because what happened, Christian Hope was in transition. And so she would start coming to visit me at my church. Mm-hmm. And one Sunday, paratransit had not come to pick her up. And thank God it was only 2 blocks away from where she lived. And so she said, no, I'm just going to roll on down the street. And I said, well, wait, Jane, let me get my car. Let me go so I can follow you. No, I'm fine. And before I knew it, my nephew said, Annie, I'll go with her, And so he walked her, home. And I got a text later that evening. I'm so grateful and thankful for your nephew, walking me home. And that was just Jane. She was always grateful for however you impacted her life. She
Yeah.
never took it for granted, the relationships that she built or that she had with one another, and I think that to me is a testament to who God was in her life, how she continued to represent him in everything that she does. And I'm telling you, I'm getting choked up
Mm,
because,
yeah.
it's something when you're scrolling on social media, you know,
Hmm.
and so that's how I found out, scrolling on social media. And so I just stopped and I froze and I was like, this can't be, this can't be. She's enrolled in seminary. We started the semester together. What happened in these short few weeks, and so I felt such a disconnect from her at that particular point, that I was just hurting, that I
Mm-hmm.
got to know that my friend was no longer here and I didn't have the opportunity to say so long. But what I'm grateful and just comforted by is that the grave does not get the victory.
Yes.
That Jane is rejoicing where she is,
Yes.
because that's what she lived her life for,
Yes.
to be with him one day. And so I'm just grateful that I have this opportunity just to reflect,
Yeah.
just to share, and to get emotional. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've been walking around here with the tears just rolling and not really letting it out, but
Mm-hmm.
but still just thankful,
Yeah.
that I had the opportunity to experience Jane Victoria Hopkins.
Oh, thank you, Lisa, for sharing with our community and those that are watching. And when we said, and I'm just grateful for my sister Pam, who said, she allowed me to express my heart. And she said, you know what? Let's do something special and dedicate our show to Jane. And this Touch Your Heart Tuesday, just those reflections that you've shared, has been so touching and heartwarming to all of us. And again, this is a space where we unmask here, that we can be real out there. So the same tears that you have shared outside, you are permitted to share them in here. And we want others that are feeling emotion to feel the same, to feel free to do the same thing. Pam, if you would care to share, we'd like to hear words of reflection from you as well.
Well, good afternoon, my beautiful sisters. I didn't know Jane for that long, but the time that God had allowed her to be present in my life has um, took me to another place. I was like Lisa, I was really saddened to hear of Jane's passing, as our pastor talked about her from the pulpit that morning, and then to stroll on social media that afternoon to see that my sister had gained her wings. I give God praises because God had put so much in Jane. Um, and every little piece that he put in her, she was willing to share with someone else. She did that for me. Um, at a time where my heart was broken, Miss Jane did that for me. I met Miss Jane a while ago, of course, just fellowshipping with other churches. And then at the WOW conference, she said, I remember you, and we had such a good conversation. So all weekend long, when Miss Jane needed me, she said, pretty lady. And I knew she was talking to me. Lisa, the rainbow, just describes Miss Jane so perfectly. Each and every color was a piece of her. Her mind was so clear and stayed fast on Jesus. When Miss
Yes.
Jane found out why my heart was so broken in the passing of my own mother, Miss Jane said, "There'll always be a piece of her with you. So when you feel sad, take that piece of her that you have and put it with the love that she continued to give you." Miss Jane helped me so tight with her little arms, and it did my heart good. So
Yeah.
every opportunity that I had to check on Miss Jane, to talk with Miss Jane, to pray for Miss Jane, was time well spent. It was time
Yes.
well spent. Although she was a student, Miss Jane was a teacher. She gave you what you needed when she didn't even realize that's what you needed. And at the end of it, she gave you a smile with so much love. So Miss Jane will definitely be missed. She will definitely be missed, but she will never ever be forgotten. So I thank God for the opportunity. Thank you, sisters.
Oh, you ladies are more than welcome. Thank you both for just sharing your hearts. And we know that our community is blessed by what you shared. The video clip, which was a candid reflection of who she was, as Lisa began to describe the color of the rainbow. And when I went on her page, that's something that stood out for me because that's who Jane was. And when you talk about the fact of Pam, how she allowed you to share your heart with her. And once she found out, Jane did not let inability stop her from being who God called her to be. And not just a student, but a teacher of life. And I am just amazed. We had two other guests that weren't able to be here because of different challenges that they ran into, but they would have shared the similar reflections as well. But each week when we go live, we always have 3 takeaways. And today, in celebration of Touch a Heart Tuesday, we have 3 takeaways that we want to leave with each of you to remember the importance to, 1, remember to take time to let people know you care that extends beyond techie touches. I recognize that we've been in the midst of the pandemic, and the pandemic has really changed the way we connect, but every now and then we need to reach out and touch someone with our words. If we can't visit them, they need to hear, and we need to hear from them, because as we can hear, Jane gave to us, and not only did she give to us, we were able to receive and give back. So for all of us in our communities, we need to make sure that we take time to let people know that we care. Pam, do you want to share the second one?
Yeah, the second one is real simple. Cherish each day to the fullest, because as much as we would like to control our future, it really isn't in our hands. We know not the day nor the hour that it's our time. So cherish each day to the fullest. And I would add to that, to let go of the petty stuff that holds us up too. I'd add that to takeaway number 2.
Yes, absolutely. And the third one is, and this is a signature, the heart behind our course, Think You Don't Matter, Think You Aren't Enough, Think Again. When you lose someone that you love, take the time to process, to stop what you're doing, think, allow yourself to think about what is going through your head. Ask those questions, because a lot of times things happen in life and we feel like we can't ask the question. Ask the question and allow yourself. And Lisa, I'm so glad you shared, but feel what you're feeling. We want you to feel what you're feeling. And lastly, focus. But we want that focus to be on something that inspires you, that empowers you, that gives you a sense of joy in the midst of the challenge that you might be facing, and do it without guilt and do it without shame. Again, we are just so grateful for the opportunity that we could celebrate a woman that we all love in our own unique ways, and how she touched our life. And even in her passing, she's still touching lives. So again, we celebrate our sister, Jane Victoria Hopkins. Now we're going to turn it back over to our producer, because we have a raffle that we do every week. Jane would want us not to forget the raffle. So ever who gets this raffle, not only is something from Pam and I, but it's something to commemorate and remember Jane. So it's all yours, Kayla. Congratulations.
Awesome. Wait, do we have her address?
Yeah.
We do. Okay, great. Then we'll send that out right away. Awesome. That's great. I'm glad that we did have this raffle spin at the end. We really needed that. And Cheryl, I'm so delighted that the 2 ladies came to share about Jane and who she was to them and who she will always be to them. I don't like to use the word was, who she will always be to them.
Yeah.
We just want to also say to those who are watching that, you know, there's someone in your life that has moved on, has transitioned. Honor them today as well in any way that you feel is special or unique to you. Let's just wrap this up really quickly. We do have another great webinar coming up, which is 5 simple shifts to go from fatigue to first. And we did that webinar a week and a half ago or something like that, Cheryl. We're doing it again. We want you to sign up, look for the information in our private group as well as in our public settings. Anything else, Cheryl?
Nope, that's it. We just want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. And until next week, we will see you at the same time, at the same place where we unmask.
Unmask. Bye-bye.